Hello and welcome to Crypto Novas, where newbies become masters. My name is Chris Brown and I'm the host of the channel for those of you who are new. For those of you who do support the channel, I thank you for the support, and the Crypto Novas community is growing as a result. I get a lot of questions from people. I want you to continue to ask those questions. I do my very best to answer all of them. I do answer questions on a daily basis in two different platforms. This is one of them for people who want some basic understanding, and so I definitely welcome it. Today I am going to do my 2021 price prediction for Litecoin. There are two reasons. One, the altcoin market in the last couple of weeks has certainly seen a surge in prices on the upside, and Litecoin is no exception. And the second reason is I happen to own a few Litecoin myself, so I may be a little biased in this presentation. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's give a shout out to Bitcoin IRA. Reason being, there are people who are looking at a different way of investing into this market. This is one viable way. I would highly recommend take a look at bitcoinira.com and get more additional information on how they can help you. As always, this video is not and should not be perceived as crypto investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, create your own investment strategy, and understand the risks involved with investing in the crypto market and the project that you select. Okay, let's hit Litecoin basics. This is in fact digital money. Let's see what has happened with Litecoin since 2017. Charlie Lee launched Litecoin in 2011. In the 9 years of its existence, it's had no forks or shutdowns, and there are other projects which cannot say that. In 2017, it was ranked around, I believe, number 3 or number 4. It has dropped down to number 8, but it is still within the top 10. It's still considered the silver to Bitcoin, and it still is 4 times faster than Bitcoin, and in fact getting faster. There has been expanded adoption since 2017, and there are new developers to the Litecoin team to help the technology move to the next level. The Lightning Network daemon was launched in 2020. Mimblewimble testnet was launched in September of 2020. The Litecoin card was launched in 2020, and PayPal and Venmo partnerships were created in 2020. Let's take a look at the number of Litecoins. When the company was originally started in 2011, it had a maximum supply of 84 million Litecoins. Like Bitcoin, Litecoin has a halving of every 4 years, which impacts price. Presently, there are 7,200 Litecoin mined per day, which at the end of 2021, that should be about 2.6 million coins mined this year. The present circulating supply is 66.4 million, which is approximately 80% of the maximum supply. If you want more details on this, I've left the web link to the Litecoin block half, where you can get additional technical information on what's happening with the coin. Okay, let's take a look at this chart real quick on the halving. The first halving happened on August 25th, 2015. The price was about $2.95, and it peaked to about $375, and it did about 127x. The second halving happened on August 5th of 2019, where the price was $96, and we don't know yet what the maximum price will be. If it does something similar to what Bitcoin did in terms of how it increased on the second halving, we could project that it may do a 4.3x or wind up at a price of about $4.19, which we'll talk a little bit more the value of that later on in price prediction. The third halving is scheduled to take place somewhere between August 2nd and 6th of 2023, and the last Litecoin to be mined will happen in 2142. Long time away, 120 plus years. This map is a good map because it shows you Litecoin adoption. Clearly, the United States and Europe are the two areas where Litecoin has seen great adoption and has grown over the years. You can see by the map in the purple dots that it has scattered throughout other parts of the world and other continents, but the concentration is the good old US and Europe. Okay, let's look at some Litecoin 2020 successes. Now, I posted a video where Charlie Lee was doing a presentation on Litecoin and talking about the improvements that have happened over the last year or two, but he didn't go into great detail. So I took a little deeper dive. The Lightning Network Daemon, the version 0.10.1 update, is the most complete and stable version of IND. There are two primary components to it. There are some other technicals, but these are the ones that are primary. One is the multipath payments, or the MPP, which the upgrade allows for larger LTC payments to be more efficient in the payment routing. So basically, you can transfer more Litecoin in any one given transaction. The second is partially signed transactions, or what they call PST, which allows the user to fund and open Lightning channels from a third-party wallet. Bottom line of this is it makes transactions on the network more efficient, therefore they're faster. That was one of the things that Litecoin really wanted to focus on, and that Charlie really wanted to design, is that it wanted to be faster than Bitcoin so that it would be usable. He's trying to improve upon that technology. The second has to do with a privacy upgrade. So David Burkett came onto the Litecoin team in 2019, and he's the lead developer for the mimblewimble testnet project. And he's giving monthly updates on this for those of you who are interested on his Twitter feed. The tech basically implements extension blocks to the Litecoin's chain. What this does, it allows users to effectively mask their identities and trade in full confidence. Privacy and fungibility is really essential to a truly decentralized finance. So the idea behind this is that it really hopes to boost the interest in Litecoin and the adoption of Litecoin. And Litecoin could certainly use that right now. Mainnet launch is set for sometime this year, about the middle of the year 2021. Okay, let's talk about the Litecoin card. So Litecoin has basically a Visa debit card, which is in partnership with Ternino, and this empowers you to convert crypto into real-world utility. Basically means you can buy stuff with it. The platform is the only one which allows users to stay in Litecoin. So this is kind of how it works high level. You open an account, you can deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin into your account. You can then convert that to Litecoin, which will be put onto your card. You can go to a merchant, obviously accepts Litecoin or fiat currency. You can buy a product, pay with your card. That is then either given to the merchant in the form of Litecoin, or in the fiat of that particular country. Along with this coin, there's an app for a smartphone. You can have a virtual wallet, you can have a virtual card, you can have a plastic card like our typical Visa cards that we have now, or there's a hard metal card which is coming. The key, I think, to this, and the exciting part, is through Flexa, there are 40,000 merchants globally who can accept Litecoin. So you can start buying stuff right now with Litecoin. And if you go to their website, you can see some other merchants that they are working with to where they accept Litecoin. The other big thing was the payment partnership with PayPal. Now let's take a look at how huge PayPal is and what door this opens for Litecoin for additional adoption. PayPal's been in business for 20 plus years. The network itself has 360 million customer users. It has about 280 plus million buyers. It has plus 24 million sellers. It's in over 200 markets, and it is able to use over 100 currencies. PayPal has bought Venmo, which is its own payment platform for personal and for business use. And sometime this year, it will be extending its crypto products, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, onto this platform, and it will begin to open it up to some additional international markets. So this really has the opportunity to really expand, again, the adoption of Litecoin beyond the borders of just the United States and Europe. Okay, let's take a look at price predictions. First thing I want to take a look at is coin market chart showing exactly the location of Litecoin. It is, as you can see, it's number 8 there, right below Binance Coin and right above Chainlink. This is the page that I always use to validate the prices that I use in this analysis for Bitcoin. So let's take a look at what Litecoin did in the past and what it's presently doing today. All right, so back on December 19th, 2017, that's when it reached this all-time high. At that point, it had a little over 54 million, a little under 54 million Litecoins in circulation, which was about 64% of its maximum supply. The market cap was $20.2 billion, with the total crypto market being at $639.7 billion. The market dominance at that point, again, keep in mind it was ranked around number 3, number 4, was 3.1%, which was really good and strong. Its all-time high price was $375 and change. Its price relative to Bitcoin was 1.95. Now, when I invested back in 2017, that was the target for Litecoin. Again, keeping in mind, Litecoin is to Bitcoin as silver is to gold. So the idea was that if Litecoin could maintain about a 2% value relative to Bitcoin, it was going to be successful. Well, that has changed over time. Let's take a look at where it is at today. The ranking's number 8. Circulation supply, as mentioned before, is 66.4 million, which is 80% of the overall supply. The market cap is $11.1 billion, with a current market cap for the crypto market at 1.3 trillion. The market dominance right now is really low. It's only at 0.8%, not even at 1%. To get back to the all-time high, it would have to do a 3.9x. Now let's go back to the chart that I did at the very beginning. We looked at the halving that said if it was in keeping with Bitcoin and how it had increased in its second halving, a 4x is reasonable to presume. Its present price when I did this analysis was $168. It's a little bit higher than that now. To get back to 375, it would only have to do a 2.x, which I think is very doable. Its price relative to Bitcoin is weak. It is at 0.36. To get back to the 1.95, it would have to do a 5.39x. Let's see what it did back in 2020. So it started the year off in 2020, January 1 at $42, and ended the year at $124, which was almost a 3x growth for the year. If it did a 3x growth for the year today, in 2021, it started the year off at $126. It would only have to go up to $378 to get back to a 3x growth. So I think 3x is very reasonable for us to think Litecoin will do this year in terms of its relative position to market dominance and to Bitcoin price. So if it does that, and I use that in my figures, let's see what the final price of Litecoin would be. All right, scenario 1 is $146,000 for Bitcoin. At its peak, it was at 1.9%. I said if it just did a 3x from where it is now, it would go to a little over 1%. And if it was only a little over 1% from where it is right now, it would be a price at $1,576, or from the first of the year, it would do a 12.5x. Pretty healthy. Circulation supply is increased a little bit. It's a little over 69 million. And that was supported by the growth increase in the earlier slide. Its market cap would be at a little over $108 billion. If the crypto market cap reached 3.3 trillion this year, and its market dominance wasn't 3.1%, but 2.43%, its market cap would be 80 billion. The Litecoin price then, based on the circulation supply, would be about 1,160, or it would be a 9.2x. Still not bad. Now, let's be more optimistic. Let's be aggressive. If Bitcoin surges as high as some people believe, and it reaches up into the high twos, almost 300,000, using the figure of 276,000. As a result, Litecoin, from the technology improvements that it's making this year and the adoption that we just looked at in the slides, it surged a little bit more. And let's say that relative to Bitcoin's price, it doesn't return back to the 1.95, but let's go to 1.41. It would give me a Litecoin price of $3,893, or a 30.8x. Maybe aggressive. If the market does some crazy things with numbers, like some of us think it might, this is possible. Market cap would be over $257 billion. If the crypto market reaches 7.7 trillion and market dominance moves to 3.1%, not quite what it was before, but very, very close. Market cap would be $243 billion, a little bit over. the Litecoin price would be 3,522 or 27.9x. Very interesting numbers. And I do realize that some people, I think those higher numbers are a little bit too optimistic. So, like always, I do an average. So if the low price for Litecoin for the year could be as low as 1160, the high 3893, I've given Litecoin an average price of 2526, which from the initial start of the year would be a 20x. And quite frankly, I think this is possible. And I'm going to watch this. I think the 20x is very possible for Litecoin, especially if people are receptive to the improvements. Again, some people think it's optimistic, but that's where I sit. Again, this is Crypto Novus. If this information was of value to you and you found a nugget or two, please subscribe to the channel and by all means, like the video. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Crypto Novus, where newbies become masters.